From the Fast Track Storm Center, this is a severe weather alert.
All right, everyone. Fast Track Mason again here with the Fast Track Storm Center. Sorry about that. Anyway, as I was saying, we are here now with you because we now have a tornado warning that has been issued for Mercer County, northern Mercer County, for this storm that you see moving in from the west. I was just on the air telling you guys about a severe thunderstorm warning that was issued for Mercer County, and now we are seeing a tornado warning now for northern Mercer County. This is from Rockford over towards Minden. This is to the north also. This is also to the north of Salina. Let me go ahead and get my tablet here so that way we can take a look at the storm. So I'm going to be here with you for a little bit while we deal with this tornado warning. So if you're in northern Mercer County, you want to go ahead and take cover, okay? This tornado warning is until 11:45 for this storm that you can see moving through Geneva, Indiana, rather, and now getting ready to cross into the northern part of Mercer County, okay? So there has not been any indications of a tornado on the ground, but certainly we have been seeing some indications of rotation on radar with this storm, okay? So I'll go ahead and flip over to my velocity right here, and I'll actually go ahead and we'll switch over to the northern Indiana radar because that's the closest to where this storm is. That's the wrong radar. There it is. So we'll switch the velocity over from the Wilmington radar to the northern Indiana radar. There we go. So this is the northern Indiana radar. This is pretty much the closest radar to the storm, okay? You can see we are looking at this area right here that is now crossing the state line from Indiana into Ohio. So we're watching this little area right here for that's pretty much our area for rotation, okay? I'll go ahead and put my debris tracker on so we can see if there's any indications of possible debris, and not seeing anything alarming. So that's some good news, but certainly not something to take lightly, okay? Don't want the regional radar. I want to go over to the live radar. There we go. Okay, so anyway, as you can but certainly we are still seeing this tornado warning for northern Mercer County until 11:45. You can see there it is right there. It's now crossing into the northwestern part of Mercer County, just crossing the state line, where it's the leading edge, basically. I would say that the rotation is right here, where we have an inflow notch, where we have winds getting sucked into the storm, and you have the rotation wrapping around. I'll go ahead and zoom in on that area. I'll get you a little bit in a little bit more tighter, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And so right here, basically, is where we are looking at the storm having some rotation. You see where we have an inflow into the storm, and then the winds wrapping back around, okay? That's what creates this little area of rotation, okay? Let's go ahead and check the shear on this storm. Go ahead and pull my shear tracker up. My wind shear, basically, is what it is. This is something that I look at to see if there's any changing of the wind, specifically from ground all the way up in the upper levels of the atmosphere, okay? And when you get some shear within a thunderstorm that could be potentially rotating, that's where you see those blobs of blue on radar. And there is one just to the west of the state line of Ohio and Indiana, and Ohio. So this is right outside of our viewing area, but these storms are moving in, so that's something that we're going to be continuing to keep an eye on. There is some shear with this storm also that is in western parts of Randolph County, as we do have a little bit of some shear showing up with this storm. This is south of Parker City. Severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for Randolph County, by the way, but we may really want to focus our attention up to the north where we do have this tornado warning for northern Mercer County until 11:45. Rockford, you are in this polygon, this tornado warning. Take cover, okay? Let me see here. I think I just got something from the National Weather Service. Woo! Jesus. Okay, so it is continuing the tornado warning. That's what they're saying. I thought it was saying confirmed tornado. No. Sorry. I can see the weather bulletin on my phone as well. But no, it's still radar indicated. But we are watching the storm. Now keep in mind, I will say about the shear tracker, it lags a little bit behind the radar, so there is some lag time with this product. But yeah, as you can see there, just to the west of the state borders are like right here. And there's that area of shear that we are watching that is with this thunderstorm. That's going to be crossing into Mercer County, okay? So it's going to take a little bit for that to get in. Let's go back over to my velocity to go ahead and take a look and see how that rotation is looking. It's looking more well-defined. Oops, don't want to zoom in that close. We'll go ahead and get in here more. There it goes. There's the area of rotation that is showing up with the storm as we have some reds going away from the radar. Now keep it, like I said, remember, we are looking from the northern Indiana radar, which is off to the northwest of this storm, because that's the closest radar site to this storm, okay? Whereas the Wilmington radar is a little bit far away from the storm, okay? And the terminal radar at the Dayton airport is the second closest, okay? But this radar is the closest to this storm, okay? But yeah, we have the reds going away from the radar, which is in northern Indiana, and then we have the greens right here going towards the northern Indiana radar. And when you get that together, that's when you get that indication of rotation. I'm actually going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and put you know what? We'll go ahead and get down to street level, and we'll start calling out streets to see exactly who's in line for this particular storm. So if I call out a street name that's familiar to you, it might either be your street or it might be 1 to 5 minutes down the road from you. Either way, take cover, okay? Township Line Road. We got Tanner Road. Hawk Road. Yeah, Hawk Road. We've got Now Road. What else? We got Main Street. That runs north to south towards Rockford. Cell Road. Where else? Hellworth Road. Keelpool Road. I apologize if I mispronounce. Lombard Road. Wilson Road. Herman Road. Half Hill Road. Harrison Street. So this is really the area to the north and west of Salina that is under the gun for this possible tornado. So this is to the south of Rockford. So if you're in Rockford, you need to be taking cover. Minden, you also need to be taking cover as the circulation is to your west-southwest, all right? We'll go ahead and we're gonna go to our live radar, okay? So we can actually see the storm from our live radar, okay? Let's see here. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's a little bit far away. So I'm actually going to go ahead and we actually have the terminal radar as well, like I said, at the Dayton airport. So we're going to use that as well. And not really able to see anything from the radar because it's not extending out that far. So we're going to have to go back over to the Wilmington radar. And we'll actually go ahead and go over to our debris tracker. That's if it'll work. And make sure we're on the Wilmington radar. Still not seeing any indications of debris, which is some good news for this storm. But certainly not something you want to take very lightly, okay? These storms, as they have been moving in from Illinois into Ohio, they have a history of producing tornadoes in Illinois, okay, and also in Indiana, okay. So that's why you don't want to take this situation very lightly. Just because we're not seeing a tornado on the ground, just because we're not seeing a debris signature with the storm, doesn't mean it's not a dangerous storm. It's still dangerous. Going back over to live fast track max Doppler radar, you can see we are watching the storm truck right along. We'll go ahead and get a track. There's a new update from the radar. We'll go ahead and get a track on this storm, and we'll see exactly who's in line for this storm. How is that going to work? We'll actually do a manual storm track where you can draw one out, okay? So we'll go ahead and put this on here. Right there, 18. Mendon, 1152, 1157 Elgin, and then Spencerville, which is in Allen County, 1219. So that looks to be the area. You know what? We'll put a cone track on this. 56, and we'll get a better line going for this. There we go. So Mendon, 1142. Fort Shawnee, 1203. And it's likely to be out of the fast track viewing area by then, okay? So that is your track right there. Come on. And we'll go ahead and put the velocity back on. And I want to switch over to the Northern Indiana radar again. It's just the Wilmington radar is just too far away from the storm to get really good to get a really good scan. So yeah, we are still seeing the rotation. Jeez. Okay, they're continuing the tornado warning. And they're also continuing the severe thunderstorm warning for Fayette, Union, Wayne, Dark, and Preble. Until 12:15. Tornado warning continues until 11:45 for Mercer County. Still showing radar indicated. Okay, so they trimmed the warning back, okay? So now, Rockford, you're almost in the complete clear for the storm, for the tornado warning. But Mendon, I need you in that safe spot, okay? The rotation does look like it's weakening on our base velocity, but going over to storm velocity, cycling through, it looks like the rotation is kind of falling apart, but as we look at storm relative velocity, you see it still looks a little bit well defined, actually. Going back over to correlation coefficient, again, this is the debris tracker. I'm still not seeing any indications of debris with the storm. So that's good that we're not seeing anything that indicates a tornado on the ground. There's my wind shear vector, tracker rather. And you can see we're still seeing some shear with this storm to the west of Salina and also near Coldwater and St. Henry. But we are still watching this storm though. Let's see here. What we got going on? I don't see reports from the Weather Service of like a funnel cloud or a tornado. So doesn't look like the storm's gotten a really strong wrap on it. But certainly we are seeing some rotation with this storm right now. Top of that, a lot of lightning with the storm as well. Yeah, it looks like the rotation's just falling apart a little bit. But as we go to the storm relative velocity, you can see, like right here, let me go up to my green screen. You can see right here to the southwest of Menden, there's Menden right there to give you a point of reference. There's Menden, and then right here is where we are seeing that circulation. There's a new update from Live Fast Track Max Doppler radar. So you can see it's still right there, but it looks like it's becoming more broad rather than tightening up more and more. Also watching this area down here as well. That's just to the north of Salina. So there's Salina just at the bottom of your screen. And right here, it looks like we may be trying to get another area right here. I heard another little ding from the National Weather Service. Okay, storm prediction. The watch just got issued. Oh, that's to the northeast. Okay. Yeah, we'll go ahead and go back over to the radar. So let's go ahead and get back down to street level. Let's call out some more streets because we still have this morning. And this is getting ready to move right on top of Menden right now. Mercer Road, Palmer Road, grab it. Yeah, Palmer Road, Sites Road, Tamer Road, Salina Menden Road, Neptune Menden Road, Greer Road, Rice Road, Boghart Road. There's Salina Menden Road again. Stows Road, Hazes Road, Taylor Road, T133. Okay, interesting. Yeah, it looks like this storm, it looks like it's trying to regenerate the rotation a little bit though. Because the northern circulation right here, that was right here, has weakened and has fallen apart, but it looks like it's regenerating down here though, where we got reds going away from the radar and greens going towards the radar, okay? So if you're in Menden, if you live on the south side of Menden, and you live, how should I say this? If you live between Menden and Neptune, Neptune is just to the east of Salina, okay? There's a little community right here called Neptune. If you live between Menden and Neptune, you need to be taking cover, especially if you're in this area right here, where you see this little area of rotation. We have the reds going away from the radar and the greens going towards the radar. That's indicating the rotation within the storm, okay? I'm going to go ahead and go back over to my correlation coefficient to see it. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued.
The National Weather Service in Wilmington has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County, northwestern Champaign County, Logan County, southeastern Durham County, Hardin County, Auglaize County, Miami County, until 12:45 a.m. At 11:39 p.m., severe thunderstorms were located along the line extending from near Vanward to 6 miles east of Coldwater to 6 miles north of Fountain City, moving east at 55 miles an hour. Hazard, 60 miles an hour wind gusts. Source, radar indicated. Impact, expect damage to trees and power lines. Locations impacted include Troy, Sydney, Piqua, Bell Fountain, Wapakoneta, Tip City, Kenton, Ada, West Milton, Fort Shawnee, Covington, Arcana, St. Paris, Crimersville, Bradford, Enna, Jackson Center, Russell's Point, DeGraff, and Pleasant Hill. This includes I-25 in Ohio between mile marker 66 and 118.
Alright, I'm back with you guys now. That was the new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued right here. This is for Miami, Shelby, Auglaize, Logan, and Western Champaign County. That actually goes until 12:45 in the morning. And we are continuing with the severe thunderstorm warning. Like I said, though, it looks like the storm is falling apart, though. So I wouldn't be surprised if this tornado warning gets expired. Let's see here. Okay, the National Weather Service has, like I said, they're going to go ahead and let the tornado warning expire. They're still keeping the tornado possible tie with this line. So we're going to have to watch this area very carefully and this entire line. You can see we are continuing with the severe thunderstorm warnings. We still have the tornado warning at FET because it's not time for it to expire yet, but they are going to go ahead and let it expire. So they're not going to extend it, okay? So that tornado warning is going to expire in Mercer County, but we still have severe thunderstorm warnings for Fayette, Union, Wayne, Preble, and Darke counties until 12:15. Randolph County until midnight. Mercer, Auglaize, Western Shelby, and Central Northern Darke County until midnight as well. And then we have this brand new one for Southeastern Darke, Miami, Shelby, Champaign, Logan, and Auglaize counties, the rest of Auglaize County, until 12:45, okay? And after that, we still have that severe thunderstorm watch, like I said. That goes until 3 a.m., okay? I just heard something new from the National Weather Service. Okay, they're continuing the severe thunderstorm warning for Auglaize, Darke, Mercer, and Shelby counties until midnight. Okay, so another few minutes left on that warning. But zooming back in here, because I want to take a few more looks at this storm before we go. Yeah, it looks like the rotation is falling apart. We're looking for the Wilmington radar now, which is the primary radar that Live Fast Track Max uses. And it's hard to see that rotation now. But going down here, though, we're going to watch this area very carefully as we are starting to see a little bit of some areas of broad rotation right here, just to the west of Greenville, crossing into western Darke County. Keep an eye on this entire line, all right? And then back into Wayne County as well. Not seeing anything that looks alarming. Let me put my shear tracker on. You can see this. Okay. So we're still seeing some shear with the storm that we have the tornado warning for. Also one spot to the east of Salina in the northwestern corner of Mercer County. St. Henry, southeast of Fort Recovery, you have a little bit. Northwestern Darke County, 3 areas to the west of Rossburg. And also near Palestine, that leads all the way back into Randolph County, Indiana. Look at a few spots of shear, some weak ones though. And then thankfully back down into Fayette, Union, Wayne County is not seeing any shear at this point. Okay, so there you go. There's the there you go. The tornado warning has expired as planned, so they have not renewed it. They have not reissued it. But we still continue with the severe thunderstorm warnings, as you can see, indicated by the orange outline boxes. Okay. So I'll keep an eye on the radar as we head throughout the rest of the night. Keep it here to the Fast Track Storm Center for any new updates that I may have for you guys or any new warnings I may have to pass along. You guys take care, stay safe, and I'll talk to you guys later on, alright? Bye-bye.